Diane Lane has spent decades under the relentless gaze of Hollywood, admired for her elegance yet surrounded by whispers that never seemed to fade. Behind her poised smile lay a life shaped by heartbreak, lost innocence, and the unsteady hands of fate. From a turbulent childhood to the dizzying heights of fame, Diane's journey has been anything but ordinary. For the first time, she is revealing the shadows behind the spotlight, opening a door into the private world that so many have speculated about, but few have truly understood. What she shares now is a story of love, loss, and the quiet resilience that has carried her through it all. Diane Lane's life began amidst the glimmer of New York City's lights, yet behind the early promise lay a childhood far from secure. Born on January 22, 1965, to Colleen Farrington, a nightclub singer and Playboy centerfold, and Burton Lane, a respected drama coach and cab driver, Diane was seemingly destined for the world of entertainment. On paper, her beginnings appeared glamorous, a mother admired for her beauty, a father devoted to the arts. But the reality was far more complicated. Her parents' marriage, passionate yet fraught with tension, collapsed before Diane could even form lasting memories of a unified family. The divorce left her caught between two worlds, each parent embodying a different and often conflicting vision of love and life. Under her father's care, Diane lived in a tiny apartment above the theater where he taught acting classes. The environment was steeped in creativity but unstable, filled with actors, scripts, and the unpredictable nature of a man struggling to balance passion with the demands of survival. Despite the hardships, Burton became Diane's anchor, instilling in her a fascination with performance and storytelling. Yet the longing for a more traditional sense of security persisted, especially as her mother pursued a glamorous life in Georgia, coming in and out of Diane's world at will. At 13, Diane experienced a jarring upheaval when her mother took her to Georgia. Confused and frightened, Diane confronted a life she had never known, yet rather than succumbing to fear, she made a courageous choice. At 14, she ran back to New York, determined to live independently. This early exposure to instability left a lasting imprint on Diane's understanding of love and trust. Witnessing the fragility of her parents' bond taught her that relationships could be fleeting and unreliable, forcing her to develop resilience and self-reliance at an age when most children were still sheltered from life's harsh truths. She learned to adapt, moving between homes and cities, and this adaptability would later serve her well in Hollywood's unpredictable world. Even in her formative years, Diane Lane carried a quiet elegance, a blend of toughness and grace that foreshadowed the complex woman she would become. Diane Lane's path to stardom was shaped as much by her turbulent childhood as by her innate talent. Growing up above her father's acting studio, she was exposed to the world of theater from an early age, learning to inhabit emotions far beyond her years. By 6, she was performing in local productions, captivating audiences with a presence that seemed both delicate and commanding. Yet even as a child prodigy, the instability of her home life never left her. The independence she had been forced to cultivate in her early teens, living alone in New York at 14, meant that Diane faced the world with a combination of fearlessness and caution. Her breakthrough arrived at 13, when she landed a role in A Little Romance, 1979, acting alongside the legendary Laurence Olivier. While many might have been overwhelmed by the experience, Diane's early trials had prepared her for moments like this. She was unshakable. Critics took notice immediately, captivated by her ability to convey depth and authenticity far beyond her age. Soon, Hollywood directors were eager to work with her, seeing in Diane a rare combination of beauty, intelligence, and raw talent. The early 1980s became a whirlwind of opportunity. She starred in The Outsiders, 1983, playing Cherry Valance alongside Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, and Matt Dillon. The film became a cultural phenomenon, cementing Diane as one of the era's most promising young actresses. That same year, her performance in Rumble Fish demonstrated a darker, more complex side to her craft, proving she was not merely a teen heartthrob, but a serious actor with depth. Following Lambert, Diane found love again with actor Josh Brolin in the early 2000s. Their connection was passionate, intense, and, at times, volatile. Married in 2004, the couple's relationship faced both private struggles and public scrutiny. A notable incident in December 2004 brought an especially harsh spotlight. Brolin was arrested following an allegation of spousal battery, though Diane chose not to press charges, framing it as a misunderstanding. The media coverage, however, painted a sensationalized picture of a troubled marriage, feeding Hollywood's appetite for scandal. Diane's experience in these relationships underscored a recurring theme. No matter how deeply she loved, her private life was constantly on display, and the line between personal truth and public narrative was often distorted beyond recognition. Beyond her marriages, Diane's rumored affairs with Hollywood figures only heightened speculation. Relationships with actors such as Timothy Hutton, Christopher Atkins, and fleeting connections with rock musician Jon Bon Jovi were widely discussed, though much remained unconfirmed. Even professional collaborations sparked rumor. Her on-screen chemistry with Richard Gere in Unfaithful, 2002, or with Robert Duvall in Lonesome Dove, 1989, led tabloids to imagine romances that never existed. These experiences shaped Diane's approach to love and trust. Having endured tumultuous relationships, public judgment, and intense media scrutiny, she learned to guard her heart carefully. Her early desire for stability collided with the unpredictable nature of Hollywood relationships, forging in her a mix of resilience and caution. Each romance, heartbreak, and scandal left its mark, deepening her understanding of the fragility of love under fame's unforgiving gaze. Yet Diane's commitment to maintaining her dignity and focusing on her career and family allowed her to endure, proving that even amidst scandal, strength and grace could prevail. After enduring the turbulence of publicized relationships and personal heartbreaks, Diane Lane emerged as a figure of resilience in Hollywood. The experiences that might have derailed a lesser actor became a source of strength for her, fueling a renewed dedication to her craft. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, she reinvented herself, stepping away from the teen idol image and embracing more complex, emotionally rich roles. Her performance in A Walk on the Moon, 1999, demonstrated an actress capable of profound vulnerability, portraying a housewife who experiences an affair during the summer of Woodstock. The breakthrough that solidified her comeback was Unfaithful, 2002. In this film, Diane explored the raw intensity of an extramarital affair, balancing desire and guilt in a way that felt disturbingly real. The role earned her an Academy Award nomination and reaffirmed her status as one of Hollywood's most talented actresses. Yet, even at the height of acclaim, Diane remained intensely private. Interviews focused on her work rather than her personal life, a conscious choice that allowed her to navigate fame on her own terms. She understood that Hollywood thrived on curiosity about scandal, but she refused to let speculation define her identity, choosing instead to let her performances speak louder than tabloids ever could. Diane also carefully curated her personal relationships, learning from past experiences with Lambert and Brolin. She prioritized genuine connection and emotional integrity, avoiding the pitfalls of relationships dictated by publicity or industry expectation. Though love remained complicated, she found fulfillment in her career and in her role as a mother, guiding her daughter Eleanor through a world that had often been harsh and intrusive. Diane's resilience was rooted in an understanding that fame could magnify vulnerability, but it could not dictate the choices she made about her life or relationships. Over the years, Diane Lane's trajectory in Hollywood has been a testament to adaptability and perseverance. From a tumultuous childhood to early stardom, from scandal-ridden romances to critical acclaim, she navigated each chapter with a sense of agency that few could claim. By the time she reached her 60s, Diane had not only preserved her dignity, but also mastered the art of living fully while maintaining her privacy. Her story reflects a delicate balance, embracing passion and love while safeguarding one's inner life, a lesson forged through decades of triumphs, heartbreaks, and unwavering commitment to self. By 1984, with Streets of Fire, Diane began to be seen as more than just a talented adolescent. She embodied a strength and maturity that contrasted sharply with her youth. Yet Hollywood was never forgiving, and early career setbacks, including the underperformance of The Cotton Club, 1984, and Lady Beware, 1987, reminded her that fame was fragile. Even so, Diane's formative experiences, growing up without certainty, relying on herself, and learning to navigate chaos, had prepared her for these challenges. She did not crumble under the weight of disappointment. Instead, she absorbed the lessons, recalibrating her focus and deepening her craft. By the time the 1990s approached, Diane Lane had not only survived Hollywood's harsh scrutiny, but had begun to shape her own path, determined to rise above setbacks and define herself on her own terms. As Diane Lane stepped fully into adulthood, her career entered a period of extraordinary promise and visibility. The 1990s and early 2000s saw her reinventing herself, transitioning from the fresh-faced teen of the 1980s to a woman of depth, poise, and undeniable talent. Her performance in A Walk on the Moon, 1999, marked a turning point. Playing a housewife engaged in a summer affair during the Woodstock era, Diane delivered a performance that was both sensual and emotionally charged, demonstrating her ability to inhabit complex adult roles. Critics and audiences alike were captivated, and the film reinforced Diane's reputation as a versatile actress capable of conveying raw human emotion. This resurgence set the stage for her defining moment in Unfaithful, 2002. Diane's portrayal of a woman caught in a passionate extramarital affair was electrifying. Her performance revealed layers of desire, guilt, and vulnerability, earning her an Academy Award nomination and cementing her status as one of Hollywood's most accomplished actresses. Yet, with such visibility came scrutiny. Audiences and media alike became obsessed not just with her on-screen performances, but with the possibility that her character's emotional intensity mirrored her personal life. Rumors began circulating about the nature of her relationships and affairs, speculation fueled by Hollywood's appetite for scandal. Even as her career soared, Diane's personal life was under a relentless microscope. Her early relationships with young actors in the 1980s, such as Christopher Lambert and Timothy Hutton, became fodder for tabloid coverage. The public fascination intensified with her marriage to Lambert in 1988 and the birth of their daughter, Eleanor, in 1993. For a time, it appeared Diane had found stability and love. However, the pressures of Hollywood, demanding schedules, public scrutiny, and the strain of balancing a high-profile career with motherhood proved challenging. Their marriage ended in divorce in 1994, leaving Diane not only heartbroken but acutely aware of the fragile nature of love under the relentless glare of fame. This period of Diane's life illustrated a painful truth. Talent and beauty alone could not shield one from heartbreak or gossip. Each relationship, each headline, each rumor added weight to the delicate balance Diane had to maintain between her private world and public persona. Yet, despite the pressures and personal turmoil, Diane's artistry continued to flourish, and her experiences, both triumphant and tragic, would shape the roles she chose and the depth she brought to them. Despite her professional achievements, Diane Lane's personal life became a relentless source of public fascination. Hollywood's glare made every romantic entanglement a headline, and Diane often found herself navigating a labyrinth of relationships under scrutiny. Her early high-profile romance with Christopher Lambert, which had begun in the mid-1980s, ultimately led to marriage in 1988, bringing a sense of hope and stability. The birth of their daughter, Eleanor, in 1993, seemed to complete a picture of family life that Diane had longed for since childhood. Yet, the pressures of fame and the demands of balancing career and motherhood proved insurmountable for the couple. By 1994, their marriage ended in divorce, leaving Diane to confront not only heartbreak, but the weight of public attention, where personal sorrow became a topic for speculation and gossip. Diane Lane's love life in Hollywood was never just about romance. It was often entwined with conflict, tension, and moments that tested her resilience. Her marriage to Christopher Lambert, which began in 1988, seemed at first like the stability she had long sought. They shared a daughter, Eleanor, in 1993, a chance for Diane to provide the kind of family life she had always craved. Yet the pressures of their careers and the constant glare of Hollywood created cracks that would not easily mend. Arguments became frequent, and private struggles became public speculation, a reminder that even love with the deepest connection could fracture under scrutiny. Their eventual separation in 1994 and divorce in 1995 left Diane heartbroken, yet it also hardened her sense of independence, teaching her that love in Hollywood often came with painful compromise and betrayal. Her next significant relationship with Josh Brolin carried its own turbulence. They married in 2004, but within months, the world witnessed a very public incident when Brolin was arrested following a domestic dispute. Diane chose not to press charges, describing the event as a misunderstanding, yet the shadow it cast over their marriage was undeniable. The oscillation between passion and conflict, the moments of deep affection interspersed with public scrutiny, defined their nearly decade-long union, which ended in divorce in 2013. Diane's ability to navigate these storms without losing her composure became a testament to her resilience, but it also left an indelible mark on her trust in love and men. Outside of her marriages, Diane's rumored flings added another layer of complexity to her story. Her connection with Timothy Hutton in the early 1980s, brief romance with Christopher Atkins during The Outsiders, and alleged involvement with rock icon Jon Bon Jovi hinted at the whirlwind nature of Hollywood relationships, where desire, opportunity, and timing collided, often leaving confusion and heartache. Even collaborations that sparked on-screen chemistry, such as with Richard Gere in Unfaithful or Nicolas Cage in The Family Man, fueled speculation, though Diane consistently emphasized professionalism over romance. Through it all, Diane learned that love in Hollywood was rarely straightforward. It was a dance between longing for connection and guarding oneself against disappointment, where moments of intimacy could quickly turn to misunderstanding and admiration could become obsession. Each relationship, scandal, and misstep shaped the woman she became, forcing Diane to balance vulnerability with caution, passion with prudence, and heartache with an unwavering commitment to her career and daughter. By facing conflict head-on and surviving the turbulent waters of Hollywood love, Diane Lane emerged not only as a celebrated actress, but as a woman deeply marked by the very human complexities of desire, disappointment, and resilience. Diane Lane's journey through love, heartbreak, and Hollywood's relentless gaze reminds us that even the brightest stars carry shadows of their own. At 60, she has lived through passion, scandal, and conflict, yet emerged with strength and grace, choosing her path on her own terms. What do you think about Diane's story? Do you admire her resilience, or are you surprised by the struggles behind her elegance? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into Hollywood's most fascinating lives.